For Hollywood crews, the mantra was survive till 25. So now what? I'm telling you what. The old mantra was survive till 25 because they thought that somehow magically the one more rotation around the sun was going to fix things. It didn't. So the new mantra is suck dicks till 26. They're starting to realize they're going to have to get a secondary profession, if you know what I mean. So 6 months ago, Heather Fink hit a wall. Wow, she's that old, huh? That's unfortunate. After more than 2 decades, yeah. In the film industry, the NYU Film School graduate has built a steady, if unpredictable career as a freelance sound utility worker on film and TV sets while chasing her real dreams of writing and directing. That's actually a good point. Like so many of these Hollywood people, like these below the line workers, they're all wannabe directors or actors. Most of them never get there, though. But with the dual strikes by the writers and actors bringing production to a halt, work dried up or bills piled up and anxiety spiraled. Yeah, and now the work hasn't come back. Now, I was in such a terrible place, she says. I needed anything to pick me up and pay off my debt. I couldn't live that way anymore. In July, a friend reached out the potential lifeline, a full-time position in the sound department on ABC's Grey's Anatomy, now in production on its 22nd season. They're still making that? I mean, I guess that's just further proof that the old stuff is better. So I enthusiastically said yes. Fink said I couldn't feel more grateful. When the Lies first spoke with Fink in May, she was still reeling from the fallout of the work stoppages like thousands of her fellow crew members. Now, as the industry struggles to regain its footing, many checked back in with her and a few other, or we've checked back in with her and a few others from that earlier story to see how they're faring. Most of them not very good. So some, like Fink, have found a measure of stability, however tenuous. But for many below-the-line workers, the prolonged strikes and rising costs of living has forced difficult choices. Leaving LA, pivoting to new careers, or scraping by with freelance gigs and side hustles. So I wonder how that strike went. Hey, it went great. It wasn't only the writers on them, but the entire set staff. Yeah, okay, so the reason for that is because a lot of these unions have agreements with each other that they will not cross each other's picket lines. So if any of these unions is on strike, all of these other union members, even if their unions aren't on strike, that they will honor their brother union's strike and still not come in. So yeah, that did happen, I guess. So to keep spirits up in a year marked with unrelenting uncertainty, many crew members have clung to the mantra, survive till 25. But with 25 fast approaching, it's actually here. Even those who've stayed afloat are bracing for what comes next. Yeah, the new mantra, suck dicks till 26. And then you're going to be sucking dicks until 36 after that because Hollywood's not coming back. No, Hollywood Minecrafted itself. They drove all their fans away. They drove all their customers away. They destroyed theaters to prop up streaming. They had the dual strikes. No, they had way too many fatal mistakes one after another. They might have been able to survive one or two of them, but all of them at once, nah. People have moved on. Yeah, these companies are going to be much more likely to like hire some Korean studios to make like the next Train to Busan or a Squid Game than deal with you guys. Keith Dunkley, a director of photography and camera operator, counts himself among the lucky ones. After working just 18 days during the first 5 months of the year, Dunkley, who supported his family during the strikes by tapping savings and taking handyman gigs on TaskRabbit, landed a full-time job as a B camera operator on a medical drama series. So I've been very lucky, unlike a lot of friends. Dunkley told The Lies via email. So many friends are still out of work or really slow. Fingers crossed it picks up next year. No, it's not gonna. It really isn't. The sooner you guys accept it and find something else, the better. All right, challenges facing Hollywood's workforce predates the strikes. Streaming platforms squeezed by shrinking subscriber numbers had already pulled back on original programming, while the studio slashed budgets and cut gerbs. The strikes only deepened the slowdown. Film and TV production in LA remained 5% slower than the third quarter of, in the third quarter of current year -1 than during the same period the previous year. Yep, like Clownfish keeps saying, A lot of these studios just use the strikes as an excuse to cancel things they never should have greenlit in the first place. So, of course, they're not going to come back. So in October, Governor Gavin Newsom proposed more than doubling the state's annual tax credit program in an effort to stem the outflow of productions to lower cost states or countries. Now, here's the irony, though. A lot of these businesses were basically telling the Democrats for years that this is unsustainable, lower our taxes. And they just kept being told no. So then when they finally start leaving, wait, we'll lower the taxes. Don't go. Why didn't you just do that sooner before we started leaving? I'm not going to sit around and wait now. But even if the measure is approved, the increase won't take effect until mid-current year, leaving many LA-based crew members wondering if help will arrive too late. It's not even if it passes, even if it takes effect in the middle of this year, still not going to matter. Like, there's just not any demand for what you're doing anymore. I'm glad I invested in a farm. Yeah, that is a good investment, at least until they show up and eminent domain your land. Diego Morisco, a dolly grip with 25 plus years of experience, who has worked on The Mandalorian and Spooderman No Way Home, sees the signs of a rebound. Full parking lots at studios, sound stages booked solid, but the recovery is far from even. There's work out there, but it's not being spread around, Marsicle says. He considers himself fortunate to have stayed employed since the strikes ended, but says that hiring has been concentrated among a shrinking pool of workers, rolling back gains in diversity and shutting out newcomers. Oh, so after years of wasting money on DEI hires, now they have to go back to hiring on merit again? And all the DEI hires can't get work. Isn't that funny? Dang, man. Free market's brutal, isn't it? So coming off the Pound Me Too movement, people were specifically starting to make it a point to get whammons and pox on the crew. The doors were a little bit more cracked open earlier, and now they're slowly closing more and more. I think it's very subconscious. I don't think people mean to do it. It's just going back to the people that are starting to take care of their own. No, it's because they're going from virtue signal hiring to meritocracy hiring. That's all it is. Like they got to stay in business. And this is exactly like all of us have been saying too with the strikes. Yeah, some of you are going to get way better deals under the new contracts after the strikes. Yeah, only those of you that still have work. All the rest of you, though, sucks to be you. Just like when the minimum wage goes up. Yeah, whenever they have a massive minimum wage hike, now half of minimum wage workers are living it up. The other half are unemployed. But those that are left are, they got it good. There's just way less of them. The scarcity of opportunities has created a palpable tension on set. People are getting meaner. Full-time crew members tend to be kinder because they know how lucky they are, but the ones who aren't working as much, that's all they can talk about. It's deeply depressing, and it's dividing people. Dude, and I bet a lot of them are ruining their own chances, too. Because it doesn't matter how good you are. If you're a pain in the ass to work with, no one's going to hire you. They would much rather hire someone who's maybe not as skilled as you, but who cooperates, than put up with prima donnas. So Mariska, who also runs Crew Stories, a private Facebook group with more than 96,000 members, has witnessed firsthand how deep the industry's contraction has affected its workers. Originally created in current year -8 as a space for crew members to share funny anecdotes and positive news. I guess the positive news now is, hey, look, I still got a job, and then everyone else hates on you. So, yeah, rub it in. The group has evolved through the pandemic and strikes into an essential outlet and communal resource for those grappling with financial instability. So this year, the pleas for help have been relentless, with Moskal often juggling roles as investigative journalist, detective, and the rapist. Someone asked me to help with a GoFundMe to get their car out of an impound lot. An hour later, someone else is like, I broke my back on a stunt. I don't know if I'll ever be able to walk again. I need stem cell therapy. I want to start a GoFundMe. It's like, who do I help? In the end, it comes down to me. Yeah, that's the problem with all of these. So if you help one out, you shill one person's GoFundMe, and then the next day you got like 300 others asking for the same shilling. And at that point, it could go one of two ways. Either you don't do it, in which case now you're the villain. It's It's like, well, you helped this guy. Why won't you help me? It's like, oh, so I'm not good enough, but this person was? Or you do actually shill the other 300 GoFundMes. None of them get even a single funder. Everyone that used to be following your feed now leaves because they're not following your feed to watch you shill GoFundMes, and everyone loses. That's how it always goes. Yeah, option A is much better. Yeah, option A is much better for you. 100%. That's something that a lot of people that first, I guess, hit it big, and by that I mean they just have a decent sized audience. That's something they learn really quick. Something I learned even. I'm talking like I have nothing to do with it. No, I learned the same shit. Yes, I learned the hard way. And look, it fucking sucks having to turn someone down, but you know what's going to happen. All right, the emotional toll has rippled across the industry. Self-Minecrafting among below-the-line workers is difficult to quantify. Many believe it's underreported. To be fair, they say that about everything, so I'll take that with a grain of salt. I know people who've Minecrafted themselves, Fink said, they didn't see hope. They didn't see a use for what they do anymore. You could ask around. Almost everyone knows someone. If it was some coal miner that was put out of business because of a green push that went and did it, I wonder how much sympathy that guy would get, or if these same people would be like, man, sure, just learned the code. I don't know. And one thing you never hear about, even with the self-Minecraftings, is the impact on the people closest to them. And the despair goes deeper. Someone gets hurt and they develop a drinking problem, start lashing out or hitting their spouse. It's all underreported. You only hear about it if you're inside the industry. Those struggling are compounded by a growing divide between Hollywood's creative and working classes, a rift widened by productions moving overseas in pursuit of tax incentives and lower labor costs. At this point, could you even still be considered part of the industry if the industry has moved overseas and you didn't go with it? At this point, you're a former part of the industry. I believe in the power of unions and I support the strikes enthusiastically, Fink says. But on the other side of the strikes, we're in a terrible place. The working class put their last good years on the line. And now productions are moving overseas. The people we fought for aren't fighting to keep work here. Yeah, that's the irony, dude. If you were one of these below the line workers, like you're just a cameraman or a makeup artist or something, and you stuck with the writers and the actors and help and joined the strikes with them. And now those same writers and actors are like, yeah, let's move production to Canada. Yeah, let's move it overseas. Let's move it to Vietnam. Why not? Man, I would be furious. Like, hey, wait a minute. So I sacrificed months of pay just because you were being a fucking bitch about like one clause in the contract you don't like, and you're just gonna abandon me like this after I gave up my career, basically? Oh, okay. I could see why there's so much bad blood. It actually makes perfect sense. Advancements in AI and virtual production are magnifying those anxieties. On projects like Disney's current year -6 and CG animated The Lion King, the studio's upcoming Snow White remake, Marsko witnessed how digital environments replace traditional sets, limiting the need for entire crew departments. Yeah, it's funny. Like they're more than willing to eliminate these grunt frontline workers, but it's a step too far if they do that to the writers and the actors, though. No, you can't replace writers and actors with AI. That's wrong. But cameramen, set designers, makeup artists, no one cares about them. Fuck them. We can replace them with AI. It's pretty much what I'm seeing here. Yeah, if I was one of these below the line workers, I would be fucking furious. I would actually be looking for a way out of the industry, if I'm being honest. I'd want nothing to do with this corrupt piece of shit. It was drastically different from what you would normally see on a film set, he says. They still need that feeling of a human moving the camera around. I remember being like, I guess I made the cut. But there was no sound team, no makeup, no construction, just bare bones of what it takes to make something. During the strikes, Marscal considered leaving the industry altogether and exploring the idea of starting a power washing business. Having bought a home in Eagle Rock at the bottom of the market in current year minus 15, he feels fortunate for now, but knows the stability could vanish in an instant. He's right. He's absolutely right. It can. You should have left the industry. For now, I'm needed in that world, Mariscal said, but I'm going to have an AI problem that can, or an AI program that can mimic shots, crane moves, every camera move ever made. When that happens, I'll be out of a job. It could happen in the blink of an eye. It might already be happening. I don't know about it. Yeah, that's the thing with layoffs. A lot of times, like they're planned months ahead of time. Yeah, you could already be on the short list to be gone in like next month, and you wouldn't even know. Yeah. So don't sit around and wait. If you know it's coming, get a head start trying to find something new. And as soon as you find something new, bail immediately. Earlier this year, Fink had been ready to leave LA entirely, planning to return to New Jersey or run for local office and use her creative skills to raise awareness about caregiving after her father's stroke. At least that would have been a good use of time. For now, her job on Grey's Anatomy, which runs through March, has given her a reprieve. I'll be covered for some time, but I'm preparing myself for the unknown. None of this feels reliable. Not my job, not my department, not even the country. As Hollywood adjusts his new reality, Fink is holding on the best she can. So I don't have the time for my dream right now, and I'm just trying to survive, but I'm not giving up. There's too much value in what we do. We just have to adapt. Yeah. And like Neon keeps saying, the actual talented entrepreneurs and creators are going to succeed. The people that are good enough to make their own stuff, they'll be fine. Those that go out on their own and then like they don't attach themselves to another big corpo, that they make their own, they'll be fine. The rest of them, though, yeah, they're all going to be replaced by AI because there's not going to be any need for bloat anymore. You're either on the A team or you're unemployed. Like there's no longer going to be any B or C or D teams. It's the A team or you're unemployed. That's how cutthroat the creative industry is nowadays. There's so many options, not just from stuff also being made now, but when you consider the old stuff that already exists. Yeah, like being mid isn't good enough anymore. They'll learn the hard way. So good luck sucking dicks till 26.